That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 19, Marked Man, Royal Rumble 1998. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, how you doing?
Doing pretty well, man. Great to be back at it, kicking off the new year with a first episode of covering 1998.
Yeah, New Year, you mean 1998, not 2019.
Yeah. Not 2019.
Yeah,
I had to make sure I was clear at the end there.
Yeah, because they'll be like, what are they talking about? This is January 30th. First month's almost over. But yeah, into a new year of Austin, 1998, and we just finished off 1997, and we did the Stone Cold Top 5 of 1997 this past weekend. This past Saturday, we dropped that episode, and I was all giddy and excited about it because after checking it out and looking it over, we noticed that there was no robot sounds.
Later, Mr. Roboto.
So it looks like we solved the issue, and hopefully we don't have the issue again. And hopefully this issue is clear of any robotic sounds, or then we're going to be pissed again.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully we're all good here for 1998 to start with. The Royal Rumble 1998, which is a lot better than the Royal Rumble 2019 that was last night as of recording this.
That was terrible.
It's just so long. So damn long.
There's just no storytelling. I don't feel engaged in the matches. It just feels like they're doing like, hey, here's some moves, but I don't know. It seems like it lacks real emotion, like you see in NXT, which is nuts.
Right. The crowd is just crazy for everything that happens. I don't know. Maybe it's just a small, intimate crowd that kind of makes it sound emotional. But I love the big look. I love the look of the Royal Rumble last night.
Me too.
Awesome.
They did a great job with the setup at that was at Chase Field. That's a baseball stadium, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Now that they must have like a retractable roof.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like indoor. They have a roof. Yep.
Because it looked very nice. Like I was impressed. Like I've seen some Diamondback games on TV, but seeing like the setup, the way it seems like WWE really brought out the best that stadium had to offer.
Right, and they couldn't go with their like traditional set, so they had to do it a little differently. Where the wrestlers are basically just coming up from the dugout. They were just walking up.
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
I didn't. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
They were walking up the dugout stairs to get to the entrance, coming out of the locker rooms. Yeah, I thought it was cool. It looked cool. So, some good things there, of course, whatever. But we're here, like I said, to talk about a Royal Rumble that goes down in history. Not that it was great or anything either, but just brings us back to a time of some better storytelling.
Yeah, it was a lot better than last night's. I watched a good chunk of Royal Rumble 98, and it was overall a much better show than last night's Royal Rumble, that's for sure.
Yep. All right, so I had said that we covered the top 5 of 1997, so we're going to be kicking off 1998, and we'll be already thinking about what we have to come for our top 5 of 98 in a couple months to come. So, and I think there will be some things in this episode, definitely, that will lead to possibly being our top 5 of 1998. So, with all that said, last week we covered episode 18, The People's Champ, and we also covered how Stone Cold was just moving throughout December and stunning Santa Claus and beating up Goldust in the Porta-John. But now things, starting with this episode of Raw, we're going to get into, it's kind of, they're setting the focus on the Royal Rumble match now. So it seemed like they maybe had a couple weeks to buy with like not focusing on the Rumble yet, so far ahead of the Rumble match. So they had to do a couple things with Austin just out of the ordinary. And now that it's just 2 weeks away, they're going to really start the focus on Austin in the Rumble match. And as Austin had said, he was on to bigger and better things after he dropped the IC title. He forfeited the IC title to The Rock. And this is what he was saying: with bigger fish to fry, he has this Royal Rumble that he has to win so he can get his world title shot for WrestleMania. So that brings us here now to Raw 241 on January 5th, 1998 from New Haven, Connecticut. And yours truly, Mike Prue, turned 15 years old during this episode.
Yeah. Retro happy birthday to you, Prue.
And what do you say? It's in Connecticut, so it's not even that far. But Connecticut, as compared to Massachusetts, Southeast Massachusetts, might as well have been California to a 15-year-old with no license and parents that would definitely not bring him to Raw in Connecticut. So I was not at this Monday Night Raw.
Kick rock, kids. We're not driving to Connecticut.
What's crazy though? We go back and you'll watch some of these old Raws and pay-per-views, and you'll see some people always in the crowd. Some people that just stand out as always in the crowd. And they're probably not much older. They're probably teenagers or 18 or 19. And it's like, how the hell do they get to go to all these events? There's like these, I don't know, they're like moles. They like work for the WWF or something. And they just get to go to all these shows. Well,
super fans.
Right. But fucking unbelievable. It just must be rich.
Yeah. How do we interview for that role in the show?
Man. Anyway, so Austin's going to open the show. He's going to set the stage, basically, for what's to come over the course of the episode. So I want you to hear that first. So listen to Stone Cold's quick open for this episode.
Let's go now. Bring your little camera here, son. Royal Rumble's rolling around, and the word in the locker room is that everybody's gunning for Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's not going to work. Steve Austin strikes first, and that's the bottom line. You see, everybody in that damn locker room's got a pager, and everybody that's looked at their pager sees the 316, so their ass belongs to me. Steve Austin is going to do unto others before they do unto him. So set your little channel, sit your ass back, don't touch the dial, because Steve Austin's going to raise hell as only Steve Austin can raise hell, and that's it. Get your ass out of here.
All right, so that's Stone Cold there opening up the show. He starts off, he's walking outside of the arena, and the crowd is a big crowd of people, and you can see them all just excited that Stone Cold's there, and he's just trying to get away from him, and it looks like, and he's trying to cut this quick little promo to get people interested in the episode, and he's talking about how the Royal Rumble's coming, and everybody's coming for him, but he's coming for them. And everybody needs to make sure they check their pages for the 316. And we had talked about it last week that the 316 that works in this context. Actually, we talked about that in the top 5 episode about how pages work. So if you don't know how pages work, go back and check out the top 5 of 1997. But Stone Cold says the 316 is going to be on their pages, and that means their ass belongs to me. He points out to the audience listening here, don't touch the dial. Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to raise some hell, and I'm going to do unto others before they do unto me. And that's the big theme over the next 2 weeks, is that Stone Cold's going to be on the prowl looking for people that are going to be in the Royal Rumble and get to them before they can get to him. So what'd you think of that open?
I thought it was good. I mean, they censored the language right from the start of the clip. So, it puts you right in it brings you right into, what you expect from Stone Cold, because he's swearing and they censor it out. I think it's kind of, I don't know why, but I found it funny that he has a camouflage jacket on, and it's like a weird camo, and he has his hat on. I'm like, he looks like Broken Skull Ranch Stone Cold.
It does.
Because he's always rocking camos and a hat nowadays. Yep. No, I thought it was good. It was short, efficient, got to the point, and like you said, it sets up the stage, do unto others before they would do unto you, which sets up the theme for these few Raws leading up to the Royal Rumble.
Yep. So it just continues right from there. When they get back from commercial break, they're going to go to the opening match of the night, which is going to be Farouk versus Ken Shamrock. And Stone Cold's going to make an appearance here. So, that's the whole theme of this episode. So we're going to be talking about a few other matches that you'd be like, why the hell are they talking about this match? Well, Stone Cold is hunting. He's got his camo on because he's hunting tonight.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, good catch.
All right, so the Rock, during this match with Farouk, I'm sure you noticed there, he's coming out, as he has been, he's coming out like he's the big boss. He's acting like the leader of the nation. He's telling Kama and D'Lo what to do. And it actually leads to a situation where Farouk gets hurt. Instead of Ken Shamrock taking the brunt of the injury, the brunt of the hit that the Rock was trying to set up, like he's a head coach on the sideline running plays. And it's just not working out. So Farouk gets hurt, and Rock's like, shit, oh well. And then the match is over. Shamrock wins with the ankle lock. And then Austin comes out of nowhere. He comes into the ring. He stuns Shamrock, and he stuns The Rock. So he's not discriminating babyface heel. He's just going in, whoever it is, bam, bam, stunner. And he's going to clear house, and then he just gets out of Dodge again. So, like I said, he's on the prowl for anybody and everybody. So that's the theme. And it continues on into another match. North American Championship match. The NWA North American Championship match.
We'll talk a little bit about this segment.
Yeah. Ugh. And here we go. We got Jeff Jarrett versus Barry Windham, who was just formerly Blackjack Windham. And now that he's back with the NWA, he's looking more like Barry Windham. He's trimmed his beard, or shaved his mustache off, and he's got his blonde hair back. And you have this match. I don't even know. Can't even really hype it up much at all. But you got Jim Cornette. He's going to introduce this new championship. This is going to be a championship match. There was no tournament or anything. It's just, all right, you got Barry Windham and Jeff Jarrett. They're going to fight for this NWA North American Championship title. And Cornette ultimately helps Jarrett win the match. Once it's over, Austin's going to come in, which is great because it's like, yeah, screw this bullshit. And he comes in and stuns Jarrett. That happens at the 20-minute mark in the episode. So only 20 minutes into the episode, you had Austin right from the start saying, don't change the channel, tune in. Austin's going to raise some hell tonight. 9 minutes later, at the end of that Ken Shamrock and Farouk match, you get the stunner to Shamrock and Farouk. 10 minutes later from that, you get the stunner on Jarrett. And then the great part about the stunner on Jarrett is that after he gives the stunner, he does the Double J strut.
It's perfect. It's perfectly bad.
Yeah, and then he just flips him off too right after the strut. So that made it worthwhile. Jeff Jarrett versus Barry Windham led to Austin doing the Double J strut and the double bird to Jarrett.
So not only are we up to 3 stunners, we're up to 3 middle fingers because he's given both to Shamrock and The Rock, and now he's giving them to Jeff Jarrett. So
who more fitting than Jeff Jarrett to get the double birds?
Yeah, Double J gets the double birds.
Right. All right, then it continues. It's just going to continue on. So a little later in that same opening hour, you have... Actually, it's not the opening hour at that point. It's into the second hour, but within the first hour of the actual recording. So at the 58-minute mark on the WWE Network, Stone Cold's going to make a run-in on Mark Merrow, who he has a history with. Go back into our 1996 episodes, you know all about that history. They had a couple matches in that year, one in which Austin got his mouth busted open and he has a scar to this day. So Stone Cold runs in there, he stuns Merrow. But the cool thing about this one, or not even that cool, but the thing that stood out about it was like Sable looked like she was all hot and bothered about Stone Cold.
Yeah, she did. She wanted the rattlesnake.
Yeah, the rattlesnake in the pants. So Stone Cold makes the run-in, And this is at a time where Mark Merrow's being a big dickhead to Sable. He's Marvelous Mark Merrow. He's very overprotective of Sable at this point. And Sable is just standing by her man, but kind of like not happy with him because of all the protection of her. And she's kind of like smirking and smiling about Stone Cold just gave him what he deserves, gave him the stunner. And then she looks at Stone Cold, and JR even mentions, Sable can't resist his blue eyes.
JR always putting going out there for Stone Cold.
Yeah, he's trying to get him laid. And then like he did with Double J, where he mocks him, did the strut. He does the same thing to Marrow. After he gives him the stunner, he does the little boxing punches, like shadow boxing.
Yeah, a little parry of shadow punches.
Yeah. I mean, that's the gist for the episode. So Stone Cold's running out, and he's just doing some stunners throughout the episode. He doesn't even get on the mic at all, other than that opening segment. So we don't have much of audio clips on Stone Cold here. Just stunner after stunner after stunner. And then that brings us to some side notes. And the main side note I wanted to bring up is Sunny. This girl, yes, as hot as she is doing jack shit in the WWF at this point. Just looking back at 1997, she did nothing. She's doing nothing other than running out there and advertising T-shirts. Or she's doing ring announcing for the mini matches and the light heavyweights. That's all she's doing. She's a ring announcer, and she's just strutting her stuff on the stage, and she's just doing jack shit. At least Sable's breaking out here, and at least she's in an angle. She's involved in some kind of storyline. It's like they're just paying Sunny to just be hot, just be around and be hot. Like we don't want
even Marlena. Even Marlena in 97, because you had your big three, right, for women. You had Sunny, Marlena, and Sable. Yep. Even Marlena was involved in, like, some legit storylines with Goldust and Pillman and all that stuff. So, Sunny's just kind of, she came out as, like, the first, you know what I mean? Right. She was, like, the first big diva for WWE, the first real, like, hot chick that they started promoting. And now she's just kind of fallen to the back of the line.
Yeah, and they just keep her around because she still looks good. Really. Maybe she's just a pain in the ass and they didn't want her involved in any storylines, so they said, all right, you paid just to do this. I don't know. And I don't think it gets any better for her. I'm pretty sure... No, actually, she does get involved with LOD in a little while. Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about her as she comes up in 1998. So I just wanted to point that side note out. But we'll continue talking about some girls here. We got Chyna now, and she's trying to get in on this action with all the girls. She's like, I want to be a sex symbol too, so let me get some fake tits. We talked about the fake tits last week, but DX has a promo with it just constantly referring to her new boobs the whole time, just like looking at them, and like Shawn Michaels is looking at him, and she's like pointing to look up here and all that kind of dumb shit. But anyways, DX is going to challenge Owen Hart to come out, and DX later pays off Los Boricuas, so now Los Boricuas are a heel team. They weren't a heel team before, but now they've become these paid gangsters, and they go attack Owen Hart in a match against Owen Hart and Savio Vega. So DX pays them off to do that. So that's going to lead to some stuff going forward. Paul Bearer comes out looking like shit. Did you see this interview?
Yeah, he looks like he's hungover, like he just got off like a weekend bender.
Like huge.
But he's very convincing here, He like the way his tie's all off to the side. He looks, he's all pale, paler than usual. He looks like a sweaty mess.
Yep.
Like he's had like a blow dry in his face for like 20 minutes before he went out there. But very convincing job there by the late William Moody. So you can always count on him to Paul Bearer to give you a good promo. A good promo.
So apparently, he's upset. Kane's missing. Kane's gone missing at this point. So I'm not going to spoil everything here. We'll keep up with the side notes week by week. See what happens. Goldust comes out in blackface. How about that? With an afro.
Oh, this segment's wild. This shit would not go over well today.
And in the
dark.
What?
No, you can go. You can go.
No, I was gonna say, and in the same episode, you got Don King, Mike Tyson being talked about, and you got Goldust. Like they're trying to make this big deal with one of the biggest black stars in America, and you have Goldust coming out in blackface. If that was happening today, that black star Mike Tyson would have backed out of the whole deal, right?
Yeah,
if they'd done that.
Blackface, afro, chain, boombox, like MC Hammer pants, chains, like man, they really. You got to give it to Dustin Rhodes though. Like,
yeah,
he's gold. Every time they give him something, that's why he's Goldust.
He's gold.
Like he makes it work. He doesn't half-ass it.
No,
he's all in. All in.
Yeah, whatever it is, he gets over. Yeah, he's been awesome the past every week where he has this new character or gimmick, just comes out, just kills it. And hey, props to Flash Funk, Too Cold Scorpio for dealing with that. So, if it's okay with him, I guess it's okay. So who knows? All right, so you had Don King, as I said, involved. They're going to talk about Mike Tyson possibly coming into WrestleMania 14. Hindsight, we know that happened, so it's the build to that. They're just starting to talk about Mike Tyson. HBK is going to end the show with a promo. He's going to call out The Undertaker. The Druids come out with a casket. This happened last week, too, where they had the casket and Shawn Michaels came out of it. This time he's thinking that it's Triple H in China. And he's like, yeah, come on, I just did this last week. That's lame. It's lame. Come on, guys. Come on, Triple H. Come on, China. Let's get out here. Come on out. And then they show up on the ramp, and they're like, no, it's not us. It's not us. Like a horror movie.
It's a good segment.
Yeah. And then Undertaker pops out. But then they don't show anything happen with the Undertaker. Just show ends.
Yeah, which is good. It was leaves you in a little suspense.
Yep. And it was probably a dark match for the crowd there. They probably got to see HBK against Undertaker. So that kind of concludes what happened there on that episode of Raw.
I have a couple side notes I'd like to throw in here. So I only mention this because it was your birthday for this episode, and I know you owned a South Park Beefcake T-shirt,
right?
And the New Age Outlaws come out on this episode, both wearing beefcake T-shirts.
Oh, really?
So I think the listeners want to know, was that your 15th birthday gift?
It must have been. Right around the time that it was popular. So
yeah.
And I didn't get
that's all I had to add.
And back in those days, you didn't get new clothes often. So you get new clothes right before school started, and maybe you get some for Christmas. So that might have been a Christmas shirt.
Yep.
The beefcake shirt. Yeah.
I saw that what it was. I'm like, oh, what a coincidence. His birthday and he owned a beefcake shirt.
And they're wearing beefcake shirts.
Yeah.
Beefcake. Beefcake. It's so funny that I don't know if you said this on the episode a couple of weeks back or if we just said this off recording, but you mentioned that Butterbean was Cartman. I don't think you said it on the episode.
It might have been off before or after post-recording, but I do recall saying that he was.
I was like, damn, that's perfect at that time.
Because his outfit that he has on.
Yeah. Butterbean looks just like Cartman. What I'm going to say is a little ahead of what we're at, but I always think of Golga when I think of Cartman now, too. Golga. You remember Golga? Golga was John Tenta in the Oddities. He would always wear
yes. Yeah.
Cartman t-shirt and have the Cartman stuff, the stuffed animal, stuffed Cartman.
Yep. Golga, wow, that's funny.
Golga and Cartman. All right, let's move on. They're coming soon. They'll be here eventually, within this year, 1998. All right, let's go now to Raw 242 from January 12th, 1998, and this is at State College, Pennsylvania. Is State College the name of a town?
I don't know. I was thinking that. I think, isn't that like Penn State?
Yeah, it's Penn State, but is that the town that Penn State's in? Is State College? I never knew that.
I'm thinking so. That's what I kind of assumed. I was going to look it up. I was like, I don't really care enough.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what it's like. I mean,
yeah.
For all I know, maybe that's like the campus is there, and that's like the only thing in that town. So maybe they just named it a town, State College. I don't know. You know what I mean? How a campus can take up so much area.
Yeah. In a big state like Penn State, it's a state school. It's a D1 school on top of it.
So I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure people in Pennsylvania know, but I'm not fucking looking it up right now. All right, so what we have here for Austin is, this continues. The saga continues of Austin just going after whoever he can. So it's going to happen a few times throughout the night. It's going to start with Austin pulling up to the arena. He's pulling up to the parking lot. He's got his truck, and he's going to attack the Godwins backstage. He pulls the truck back into the arena later in the night again. And then he's going to have an interview, a very brief interview with Michael Cole. So let's play that for you now.
Mr. Austin, apparently, as we just saw, you've carried into this week what you started last week. Do unto others before they do unto you.
Well, see, you're damn right, son, because last year Stone Cold Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble fair and square, and the WWF yanked the carpet right out from under me. And I ain't gonna come out here and piss Simone like a crybaby. I'm gonna come out here, and Vince McMahon might have bought this ring, but if you get your ass in it, Stone Cold's gonna throw your ass out of it, and that's the bottom line.
Now, rumor has it that tonight, at the live Royal Rumble drawing, many of the superstars have made you a marked man.
That's a stupid question. Do you have a pen?
A pen?
A pen. If you got a pen, give it to me, jackass. Stone Cold Steve Austin ain't a hard person to find, but if you're having a hard time, let me give you a little target. If I'm a marked man, I'll tell any one of the WWF superstars, whoever they are, in my book, ain't nothing but trash. All you got to do is bring your ass out here because Stone Cold his time has come, and I will accept. No BS from Gorilla Monsoon, no BS from anybody in the Federation office. Steve Austin does what he wants, when he wants. You say I'm a marked man, I say you're full of you know what, and that's the bottom line. Why? Because Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold Steve Austin on his way to the Royal Rumble this Sunday on pay-per-view. A winner of the Rumble will meet the WWF champion at WrestleMania.
All right, so there you have it. Stone Cold Steve Austin's coming out. He's saying that they yanked the championship from him last year, right out from under me. So I won fair and square. I don't think so. 1996 Royal Rumble. Obviously, that's the Rumble that he cheated to win. So he's claiming to win fair and square, which is funny. But he's claiming that he won. So he's like, this year they're not going to screw me. I'm going to do unto others as they do unto me, or before they do unto me. And he's going to go after him just like he had last week. He said he's going to toss everybody out of the ring. Just like last year when he tossed out 30 pieces of trash. And we talked about that last year when he said that same kind of comment right after the Royal Rumble win. He said, I defeated 30 pieces of trash. And no, you didn't. You threw out 10 pieces of trash, not 30.
You threw out a third, which is good, but it's not 100%, dude.
Right, so I'm taking all the credit for it.
Yeah. You should be gloating because 10 at the time was the high, right?
Yeah.
That time he had the record. He was better off just using the. I don't know.
Right, just use the record.
About that.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had announced there during the segment that there's going to be a Royal Rumble drawing. All the participants will be there later in the night. Austin's a marked man, and Austin's going to ask, as you just heard, Michael Cole for a pen, and Michael Cole pulls out a Sharpie, which annoyed me because. I'm asking for a pen and someone gives me a Sharpie, I'm like, fuck, I want a pen, not a Sharpie. It's totally
you know how
different.
hard it is to get a Sharpie off.
Right. You know how hard it is to write neatly with the Sharpie, like depending on the size of the Sharpie. It's like, no, ask for pen, but he really meant to ask for a Sharpie. But whatever, it's just semantics there. So Austin wants a marker. Or he could have just asked for a marker. You got a marker?
Yeah, you didn't have to say Sharpie. Sharpie's a brand, technically.
Right, you can't say Sharpie. You have your marker. But if Michael Cole then pulled out a marker, people would be like, why the fuck does he have a marker?
Yeah. It's like, watch it be like water-based. He's like trying to write and it's not, not catching. Just got red marks on his chest.
Yeah, so that's what he does with the marker. He's going to put a bullseye on his chest, which I thought was pretty cool. Put that bullseye right on there.
Yeah, I thought if it was a weird bullseye though. It's like a circle with a little circle. I think of a bullseye. I think like a circle with like the crosshair in the middle. You know?
Yeah,
like Bullseye, the Marvel villain, like he has on his forehead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. I was like, oh, that would have been cool if he put it on his bald forehead. It would have been like Bullseye from Daredevil.
Said it's like a dartboard.
Yeah. Oh man, that Daredevil movie in 2002 with Colin Farrell, that sucked.
Oh, awful. On a side note, if you haven't, you really need to watch Daredevil season 3 on Netflix because
the new Bullseye.
Yeah, the Bullseye in that is phenomenal. The guy that does the actor and just the job he does and the writing, how they build him up in that season is phenomenal. It's one of the best seasons on Netflix for all the Marvel shows. You got to watch it. You don't even have to watch the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. You can jump right into season 3 and they'll recap it. They bring you up to speed, and then just enjoy the ride, man.
Oh, nice. That's the thing that holds me back sometimes from watching these things. Is like, I'm like 2 seasons back.
Yeah, and some of the Marvel shows, most of them have been kind of crappy. I mean, we don't have to get into that, but this, in short, and listeners, if you've been interested in watching it and you kind of had the same concern, you could jump right into season 3. They explain what has happened anyway, and you can kind of figure it out, and you'll enjoy it. I know you will, Pro.
All right, thanks. I'll definitely check it out now. All right, so you have that. Basically, that was the gist of what was going on in that interview with Cole. He's a mocked man. Okay, we know that at this point, Stone Cold is going to win the Royal Rumble. It's like nobody can be doubting that based on everything that you've seen, based on his popularity. It's like Stone Cold's the winner. But the build-up is still awesome. It's not like today where it's like, oh, it's obvious, and you get pissed that it's obvious. This is obvious, and it's awesome. It's like, yeah, I know he's going to win. I want him to win. Let's see what he does to get there. What's he going to do? Whose ass is going to kick? I want to see him kick everybody's ass. So it's exciting, even though it's predictable. So I love that. So that concludes that, as I said. The night is not over yet, though. Austin's going to keep continuing to attack. So he attacks Vader backstage. He's going to run in on a Goldust match. It's Goldust versus Mankind. And Goldust was dressed up earlier against Flash Funk. Now this week, he's dressed up as Dude Love. He's going to come on as Dude Love. Which is cool.
He did a good job with that too.
Yeah, every time he does a good job. And, Austin gives Mankind and Gold Dude Love stunner. And that happens at the 1 hour, 1 minute, 40-second mark, where you get those 2 stunners. So it's almost like he's attacking his former partner, Mick Foley, but he's also attacking the pretend former partner, Goldust, as Dude Love.
It's like you got 3 people at once.
Yeah. Well, he got a bunch actually, because then he got Cactus Jack inside. Yeah. So yeah, got a bunch of stunners there. All right, so you got another audio clip, another real quick one. So Austin's very quick with his little promos. They're not even really promos; they're just times he gets on the mic. And I thought this one was pretty cool to play. It's only like 30 seconds, so take a listen to this. Oh, hell yeah, from Austin.
What's he doing? Look out!
Oh, hell yeah! No more Mr. Nice Guy until after this Rumble. Jim, someone told me the other day at the airport, Steve, if you think you can win the Rumble, give me a hell yeah, and I give a, oh, hell yeah!
Right, so I just wanted to play that because this is one of the times where Austin gives one of those first big old hell yes to the crowd, and the crowd just gets pumped up and jacked about it. So Austin gets to the booth. He puts on the headset real quickly. Ask everybody if he's going to win the Royal Rumble. If you think I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, give me an oh hell yeah. And he does the big hand motion emphasizing thing that I love. It just makes it seem like it's echoing throughout the crowd. Hell yeah. So I just like that, so I figured I'll play that for you. All right, so now this brings us to like the main event of the show, which is the Royal Rumble drawing, which I thought is a cool concept to have on Raw, where you can kind of see where people are going to be ahead of time. Now, obviously, part of the intrigue of the match is the surprise, but just a cool way to switch it up is to say, we're going to have a drawing. And the way it's going to end up being is that we're not going to find out anything because Steve Austin is not going to let that happen.
He has other plans.
Right. So the ring is filled with some Royal Rumble participants. They have a drawing wheel, whatever you want to call it, in the ring. One of those big spinny lottery ball things.
Yeah, like a raffle. They use them at raffles and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's out there in the ring. And they're still introducing people. So I guess they had been introducing people for a while on the commercial break. And people are just coming out. And they announced the Honky Tonk Man. So we thought the Honky Tonk Man was gone, but now he's back. And he's gonna be involved in this Royal Rumble. So Austin gets announced to come out, and he makes his way out. This is at 1 hour 23 minutes. So 1 hour and 23 minutes is when you can see this. Everybody's waiting for Austin. They're all out to get him because he's the marked man, and Austin's gonna come from behind. Perfect. He's gonna come into the ring. He's gonna attack everybody. He's gonna attack them all with the lottery wheel. And he's going to try to get as many stunners as he can without getting attacked. So he's going to get Phineas, and then he runs out of the ring, and everyone starts brawling with each other. So that part's kind of silly. It's like, all right, Austin is the reason why we're all pissed, and now we're just going to all fight each other because things got chaotic. Why didn't everybody just get out of the ring and chase him?
Yeah.
That would have been funny to end the show like with Austin running up the ramp and like 20 guys behind him.
What was that show where like it's like an old cartoon or something where everyone's chasing like the one guy?
That's what I was picturing, but I don't know what cartoon it is.
Yeah. It's like I picture like a Hanna-Barbera type.
Yeah, it's probably something like that. Definitely like a older cartoon.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm imagining. Stone Cold just running. You can, the camera the angle would be like over his shoulder, and everyone's coming after him.
Yep. It's like Benny Hill, wasn't that Benny Hill?
Yeah, maybe that happened.
Yeah, but that's not Hanna-Barbera or a cartoon.
No,
it's like an awesome UK comedy
that
I thoroughly enjoyed as a kid for some reason. But.
All right, so you have everybody, beating each other up now, and you had the Nation and Savio. Okay, so you have Rock, D'Lo, and Savio Vega. They attack Austin on top of the ramp when he gets to the top of the ramp. So I thought that was interesting because Savio Vega, who's recently kicked out of the Nation, not recently at this point, but months back, he was kicked out of the Nation. Then they formed all the different faction groups, Los Boricuas and DOA. But now you have Savio Vega, who's become heel, and the Nation joined up with each other. So it's just interesting there. Now they're working together again. So I thought this was a typical go-home segment for a Royal Rumble is when you have all the guys in the Rumble match just like fighting each other. Like, this is what you're going to see Sunday night. Get it on pay-per-view. This is crazy. That kind of thing. End the show. Try to get everybody excited. All the different potential matchups you can see going on. Like, I want to see them fight each other and blah, blah, blah. So,
back when they had to convince you to spend $40 to $50 or whatever it was to
right.
But damn, like $40 and $50 now is a lot of money. Like I can imagine what the hell that was like to our parents in the 90s.
I know it was always like a big deal.
Yeah,
I think they were early like $30, $29 or $25.
$29.99 sounds. Yeah. Oh, $45. Yeah. Well, we used to go to my dad's buddy's house who had a black box, so we were fortunate enough not to have to pay for it all the time.
Yeah, I would have to pay.
Yeah. Breaking the law.
Right. Early on in the early 90s, my grandparents, they had satellite system. And with the satellite system, you could get pay-per-view just normal, just free. It was one of the channels you could just change to. Yeah. So you could have pay-per-view just on daily, just nonstop on. So they'd have like the movies playing. And I remember one movie I watched all the time was Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Child. I think that was 5. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 Dream Child. That was on like nonstop because on pay-per-view they played a movie and then they play it again and again and again. And they kind of rotate movies like every other day or so. So I just remember that. And then I remember the music that was just played in the background. It was just like, I don't know why. As a kid, I just kept it on. But,
yeah, that was a weird one. The Dream Child one.
Yeah, that one sucked.
The kid in it was in like every kid movie then. He was like the creepy kid in every movie.
And I don't think he ever like grew any more than he did from that age.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, he always had like those huge bags under his eyes. Creepy kid.
Yeah, that's what usually happens to those. A lot of kid actors in the 90s, just like they never like grow.
Yeah.
Even
even the kid that was in the New Nightmare, when he, at that age, okay, New Nightmare came out in 1994, he looked the same as he did in 1989 or 88 when he was in Kindergarten Cop, saying boys have penises and girls have vaginas.
That's right. It's the same kid. And he's the kid that gets hit by the tractor truck in Pet Sematary, right?
Yeah. Yep, he's in Pet Sematary.
Damn, that kid was...
He was on a roll, yeah.
Yeah, he was in Full House.
Yep.
Always picking on Michelle Tanner.
Damn,
this kid was like a staple of our childhood.
Yeah. I looked him up not too long ago, and I mean, he looks older, obviously, as an adult, but I think he's still short, like he was. Yeah. I think he's like 5 feet tall still. Anyway. A little off topic there. But anyway, going back to what I was bringing up pay-per-view for, is that, I was able to watch the pay-per-view events back in like 92. That I watched Royal Rumble on there. Oh, yeah, back in those days. But then eventually it got changed or whatever. It was a Canadian pay-per-view channel. That's why we were able to get it. Because the satellite, you just point it in a different direction, and then you could pick up Canada. So
no shit.
Yeah, it's cool. The pay-per-view channel is called Viewer's Choice. Viewer's Choice. I always remember that. All right, let's get back to Stone Cold. All right, so just building up to the match there. We'll get into side notes now. You want to jump in with side notes first? What do you got?
Yeah, I actually have quite a few here. There's a nice video package for the HBK, the upcoming HBK versus Undertaker casket match.
Yep.
So that's like, this is at the time where they're doing a lot more of those these video packages more and more to kind of hype up main event matches. And this is actually one of the better ones from a production standpoint. Other side notes I have is I don't know why I put this here, but I just thought it was funny because it's something you see a lot more often now. Kurgan, who's the big guy, He wins a 1v2 match, handicap match. Mm-hmm. And which is similar to what Ryback and Strowman have done recently. So it's like you can see that what they've just goes to the back to points we make where WWE is always recycling the same type of things.
Right.
So they had Kurgan, who they probably were trying to push, but nobody bit. But after winning the 1v2 match, he then rips a football helmet in half.
Yeah, that's right.
which is kind of crazy. Because I'm like, I wonder how damaged that helmet was before he was able to tear it in two, or it's probably like a Pop Warner Kids helmet.
Well, I might have a little
before
insight
CTE
on that. So
okay.
For work, we just went on a field trip to Patriot Place, and
oh, nice.
The kids had to do an experiment in creating protective wear, whatever. So they had to do a science project where they had to take styrofoam cups and build a support system and then drop a ball on it and see if it cracked or whatever. Yep. So they learned a little bit about NFL helmets prior to that. So they learned about the different progression of how the helmets have changed over the years, and the helmets from that time of Kurgan doing this, they have a split down the center of it. So those are dangerous now So that's why they changed them. So, but looking back at what Kurgan did, basically all that they had to do was loosen the screws that were in the center of it, and then he would just be able to rip it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I learned something from a field trip. That helps us understand how Kurgan was so strong.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. Cool trip for the kids.
But the only other side note I really have, because I know you have some that we're going to have that are similar, are Cactus Jack has a great promo on this episode, and a part of that promo is you get to see a lot of clips, and they're like old clips from hardcore matches he had had in the past with like Terry Funk and stuff, which was cool to see. And I remember being like pumped. Like I always had a thing for hardcore matches when I was a kid. I loved them. That's why I was such a Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack Mark. My brother and I, for some reason, we always loved them. So if you go back, I didn't get the timestamp, but the promo's awesome, and you get to see some cool clips for the first time.
Yeah, that is some cool stuff that they were able to use.
Like those hardcore death type matches.
Right, to show like who Terry Funk is to the audience that might not be as familiar with them, and to also just kind of show the history of Mick Foley, and that he's not just Mankind. He's done a lot more before.
Yep.
Little side note to our side notes. As many of you probably have noticed at this point, we record on Mondays, and we got Double J and the Road Dogg out on the stage right now. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
You got a little segment going on with Elias. Yeah, I'll have to check that out after, see what happened there. But in terms of our side notes for Raw 242, not Raw 1400 and something. I can't believe it's been like over 1,000 Raws since where we're at here.
Yeah.
Since 1998. All right, so Raw 242 of January 12, 1998, that's actually the 5th anniversary of Raw. This episode. 5 years.
Celebration.
Yeah, celebration, bitches. Yeah, you can't not talk about Goldust. Goldust is going to come out dressed as Sable this time. He's going to come out as Sable, and he's going to introduce Mark Merrow, so they're kind of working together. And JR points out that these are two of the most insecure men in the WWF. And I don't think he's lying about it. I think there might be reality to that. They were both insecure. And because JR is also the head of talent relations, that he deals with the talent on the most regular basis than anybody. So maybe he even knows that and used that. All right, so you said, that good promo there, DX promo, the build up to the match, that was really cool. You had the Nation of Domination comes out. The Rock doesn't even have an IC title yet because they got tossed off the river. So Rock is still just walking around with no IC title. And they're probably making one at this point. But, back then, they didn't just have a bunch on hand. So they had to get a new one constructed. I mean, not that they threw out the original IC title, because we talked about that. They didn't just dump the IC title. But they didn't want to come out with the same belt. If they had thrown it over the river, then it's not going to look all nice and shiny when The Rock comes out at Royal Rumble with the IC title. So they had to come up with a brand new one just to make the story make sense. So anyways, The Rock without the title. Mark Henry is going to come out, and he's going to team with Ken Shamrock, and he has a Rocky Sucks t-shirt on, and he's going to come out to some wicked, horrible 80s theme music. I mean, I really think it's music that they used in the WWF back in the 80s for some random guy. That's, it just reminds me of the old WWF type music from the 80s. So he comes out to that. The Rock tells D'Lo and Common to know their role. So he's continuing to boss them around, but you get that know your role for the first time. The Rock's going to mention that he brought the gold to the Nation, and he also brought the strongest man to the Nation because Mark Henry's going to turn on Ken Shamrock during that match and join the Nation. And Farouk doesn't look too pleased with this because now it's like The Rock is determining who joins the nation now. So kind of pissing off Farouk. So that's
he's taking the leadership role.
right, and that's continuing to build. So that really just leads us now to Royal Rumble. Did you have any last things you wanted to add before we move on to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view?
Just checking out my side notes here. I think we covered it all. I guess one thing is the promo by The Rock there. It's short, but it's sweet. It's like short and sweet. So another thing I'd recommend to go back and check out if you want to, hear anytime you can hear The Rock give a promo, you kind of want to go back and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that brings us now to Royal Rumble 1998. This is January 18th, 1998, from San Jose, California. So a couple things before we get into what happens here is you got the WWF using their scratch logo for the first time in the corner. Okay, but it's not on any promotional material, so they have the WWF scratch logo in the corner, but then when they bring up the Royal Rumble promotion, it has the old WWF logo on it. So, transition period. The Royal Rumble promo art, too, leading up to it, that would be like in magazines or commercials and such, had Austin with a bunch of nails in his head, in a crumpled piece of paper.
Yeah, that's right.
And the paper nailed to his head. So I always thought that because Austin is raising hell, that they made him like Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah. Yeah, I was right when you said that. That's who I thought of immediately, was Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yep.
And I never looked at it like that. That's good. That's a good little take on it.
Yeah, and maybe it makes sense. I don't know.
No, it does. I mean, Hellraiser was a big deal in the 90s.
Right.
Those horror movies had like a cult-like following. I never enjoyed them, but...
No, I always thought they were weird.
Yeah, they were weird. They were like, just all too much latex.
Yeah. I don't know if I was...
and leather.
It might have been too deep for me to understand at the time, too.
Yeah, it's basically a spin on like Pandora's box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Maybe I enjoy it these days. Who knows? But anyway, so you have all that. Austin is the Mark Man, and he hasn't arrived at the arena. Okay, he's taking his time, and it makes sense that he would not show up at the arena early. Because everyone's out to get him, because he's the marked man.
Yeah, yep.
I did make one side note, and I never looked it up, but I was wondering if you know what it was. There was a sign in the crowd that said, "Stone Cold is bout it." Stone Cold is bout it. And then it made me think of the song, Bout It, Bout It.
That's what I think it was referencing, which I think was Master P, right? It was meant to be a No Limit thing.
Right.
I should have looked it up because I did see it, but I'm pretty sure... It's Master P made that song, or like Silk the Shocker, or
somebody
Mystical,
from
whoever the hell those No Limit guys were, who were awesome at the time. No Limit was the shit. They were an independent label. They wanted like the first independent labels, to blow up and just make millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It is a Master P song. Master P Bout It. Yep. And then there was the Master P movie called Bout It.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he had a movie.
This song was 1997, Master P Bout It. Yeah, and then there's somebody else, True. I don't know how recent that person is, but he sings the song I'm Bout It, Bout It.
I don't even know who that is.
Bout It, Bout It.
He was a No Limit guy, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a No Limit soldier.
Like I told you. There's Master P Bout It 2, back when they used to make sequels to songs. I think that was a big No Limit thing to have sequel songs. I mean, I know you probably think, they're called remixes, dumbass. No, I'm fucking saying that they were called Part 2, not the remix. So anyways, let's get back.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
So Stone Cold was bout it to that crowd. He's bout it. So you got the nation, and they're looking all around for Austin backstage. Everybody's looking for Austin. They want to get their hands on the marked man. So they're looking for Austin. Austin's not in his locker room. They kick through the door, and what they have waiting for them is a chair with the foam middle finger positioned right in front of the door, basically to tell them, fuck off, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck off, kick rocks.
Yeah. Which I thought was great because it kind of reminds me of like Home Alone. Like they busted in and then he's got like these props set up for them.
Yeah.
Here's a middle finger to you guys. I'm not here. So The Rock has his match. As I was just mentioning before in the Raw segment, is that he didn't have his belt. I was talking about how he'd probably be getting a new belt. So he does come out. He finally has a new IC championship. That thing is shiny as a motherfucker. So it's a brand new belt. And Ken Shamrock is going to go for that title. And he actually is going to win the match, but it gets reversed because a foreign object was found in his tights. And I thought that was pretty cool. And when I was
That's a good match. I watched that match when I went back, and then because I kind of like fast forwarded a little, like I was like streaming through it. Like you can hit like it's like a 15-second fast forward option when you're on the network via a browser. Yeah. So I just was hitting that a couple of times, and it brought me to the ending, and it was the brass knuckles. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, kind of. So I went back and like ended up watching the whole match to kind of see how the brass knuckles played out, and they're planted, which is fucking brilliant.
That was awesome. And he's like looking. He's like, there's nothing there. And then they're in there. He's like, what the fuck? How's he not feel
the
that?
The ref's all awkward. Yeah, on his crotch.
Right. You don't
and the
feel
ref's
that?
all awkward, like trying to like check him. Like, hey, like, what's that?
Hey, is it your dick?
Yeah.
So when I was writing the note for that, I just was writing it. I was like, oh, a foreign object was found in his tights. And it made me think of how back in like 92, 93-ish WCW, they had banned the use of the word or the phrase foreign object. And they renamed it international object.
Did they? I don't remember that. That's awful, though.
Which is fucking lame PC bullshit.
Stupid.
Which, and the reason why I say that is not to be offensive to people of foreign countries, but the word foreign means not from here. Not, so a foreign object is anything that doesn't belong in the ring. And for WCW to say, no, we got to change it to international object, it's like, do you understand why you call it a foreign object? It's called a foreign object because it doesn't belong in the ring. Because it's foreign. It's outside of the ring.
Social justice warriors have come a long way since 92, 93.
Yeah, at least they're a little smarter.
Yeah.
You can't have foreign objects.
You got to call them international. Foreign's offensive. Dane popping out of their forehead.
So that with that logic, it's, this object is from another country?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they use brass knuckles in like Indonesia, sure.
Right. Oh, those are the Indonesian knuckles.
Yeah.
No. It's called...
like they're from Japan. It's like, no, Japan uses nunchucks. Brass knuckles are from like the United Kingdom.
Like in my classroom, someone brings in a skateboard, that's a foreign object to the classroom.
It is.
It doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Fucking WCW. Anyway, it just made me think of that. And I always been wanting to just say something about that. So here's my platform. All right, so we have the announcement of who's going to win the Stone Cold Truck. The Stone Cold Truck is won by Mildred Bowers of Nashville, Tennessee. Mildred. Can you imagine a Mildred in a Stone Cold Truck? Now, you can find a clip on YouTube. You go to YouTube and you search Mildred Bowers Stone Cold Truck. WWF had a little segment somewhere at the time come out of showing her receiving the truck and then driving around with it. And it's this old lady, grandmother, riding around in the Stone Cold truck, and she says she loves Stone Cold, and she's all excited about the truck.
You know who I picture? I picture the old lady that's cast in like all the Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Plays like his grandmother.
Yeah.
I picture that's who this is.
And Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And she's like his piano teacher and
Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer, yeah.
Yeah, she gives him meatballs.
Yep.
In his hands.
Mildred Bowers. I thought that was pretty cool. That's
funny.
Funny. Mildred Bowers wins the Stone Cold Truck. Anyway, all right. So this show is focused on Stone Cold, all throughout. There's the matches, of course, for the others, but every time there's not a match going on, it's something to do with Stone Cold. So they're just building to it. So then they also have the pre-match package promo, and as JV was saying earlier, they've been getting really good with the production of these video packages. So I'm going to have you listen to the Stone Cold package about why he is a marked man. So take a listen to that, and then we'll get into the Royal Rumble match when we get back.
If I'm a marked man, I'll tell any one of the WWF superstars, whoever they are, in my book, ain't nothing but trash.
Wait! The rattlesnake strikes!
All you got to do is bring your ass out here because Stone Cold his time has come.
And it didn't take Austin long to begin where he left off last Monday.
Certainly did not. The Godwins found themselves recipients of stunners.
Steve Austin does what he wants when he wants.
What's he doing? Austin with a stunner on Goldust!
You say I'm a marked man, I say you're full of you-know-what.
Something going on, ladies and gentlemen, back in the locker room.
And that's the bottom line. Why? Because Stone Cold said so.
What's he doing? Look out!
Oh, hell yeah! No more Mr. Nice Guy until after this Rumble. Steve, if you think you can win the Rumble, give me a hell yeah, and I give a oh, hell yeah!
Everybody's gonna come after him tonight, and you know what? He deserves it!
All right, so that's just a little clip to kind of set the stage for this Rumble match, kind of sum up all that we've talked about in this episode and previous episode, and get us now to the big match, the Royal Rumble match. This match is going to start at the 1 hour, 9 minute mark, and it's going to last until about 2 hours and 7 minutes, so just under an hour here. So the winner is, of course, going to get a title shot at WrestleMania 14, and at this point, the title shot, that was kind of a new concept at this point. You know, it wasn't the first year of this, of course, but this was fairly new. The first time that they had the winner of the Royal Rumble get a title shot was 1993. And this is 98, so just 5 years. So WrestleMania 9 was the first time the winner of the Rumble got a title shot, and that was Yokozuna. Yokozuna was the first to win a Rumble and get a title shot at Mania. That was... Well, yeah, well, it doesn't make sense, though. Wasn't Yokozuna the champ at WrestleMania 9? No, Bret Hart was.
I don't remember.
No,
yeah, because he beats Bret.
Yeah, he beats Bret Hart.
He beats Bret Hart, and then Hogan beats Yokozuna.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so that's the first time. And then the year before that, 92, was the first time that the Rumble was actually for anything, and that was for the world title. But prior to that...
Ric Flair, right?
Yep, that was Ric Flair. 91, 90, 89, it was just a match. Just an attraction. And then it had stakes from that point on. So, the winner gets the title shot at WrestleMania 14. You're going to have HBK versus Undertaker later in the pay-per-view to determine who will possibly be that champion going forward. HBK is the champ at this point, but maybe the Undertaker can take him from him. And he doesn't, so we'll just say that here now.
And that's a hell of a match.
Yeah, really good match. Casket match. Kane's involved. Yeah. Kane's going to set it on fire. He's going to set the casket on fire, which is really cool, too.
So much attitude in that match.
Yep. Yeah, really good match. So definitely go back and check that out. So after you watch the Royal Rumble, because we'll be covering the Royal Rumble later this week, so you can watch along with us, and then when we stop watching, just keep watching and watch the main event, Undertaker versus HBK.
You will not be disappointed.
Oh, that'll be this Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. All right, so let's get into this Royal Rumble. So it starts off number 1, number 2, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie kicking off the match.
And this is gold. Cactus Jack kicks off as number 1. He comes through the the curtain, and he's just like chucking barrels down the ramp. Just, typical Cactus Jack shit going on. He's just like lugging the barrel, but just throwing it. And he throws it in the ring. And then, obviously, number 2, it's Chainsaw Charlie, and it's just awesome. It's like, what a way to get the crowd going. Like, they're just, Cactus Jack is throwing chairs at Chainsaw Charlie, and Chainsaw Charlie just kind of like deflecting him with the chainsaw.
Yep.
And then right off the clip, Chainsaw Charlie like lifts off the lion off his mask, and he's just looking at Cactus Jack like, "All right, hit me with the chair." I can't wait to cover this live in the watch-along.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
I was giddy watching. Like, this is hilarious. And then Cactus Jack stops. He's like, "No, you hit me." And then which would never happen nowadays because now the chair shot to the head, you don't see that.
Right.
And these guys are just letting it happen. But it's funny when Cactus Jack hits Chainsaw Charlie the first time. He doesn't really hit him that hard. But then when Chainsaw Charlie cracks Cactus Jack, he like really cracks him. And it has to be one of the better 1-2 like better starts to a Royal Rumble in the history.
Yeah, really.
Of Royal Rumbles.
Really, I was like, during that like opening couple minutes there, I was like, I don't want number 3 to come out.
Same here. That's what I was thinking too. I could have watched another 20 minutes of that.
Let's just have this match.
Yeah.
So, but it was the Rumble. Great way to kick off the Rumble. But yeah, I wanted more. But
yeah, and then who comes out number 3 is The Rock.
Yeah,
and then The Rock, they do the bit where they put the barrel, the trash can over his head.
Yeah,
and they're just like
awesome.
hitting him.
Yep.
And The Rock sells it perfectly, like just like poetry in motion. Watching those 3 guys go at it.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the watch along so we can talk more about it as it happens.
Hell yeah.
But some of the other things that have just come out, we're not going to cover everything here, of course, on this match because we are doing that watch along. But just kind of go through some of the things quickly here. Something that's announced by JR is that someone may have attacked Austin in the back. That gets mentioned that Austin might not be in this match, so gets people to starting to think, oh, we're not going to see him. Builds up the anticipation for Austin to come out once they say that he might not be in the match. And it made sense too that he got attacked because that's what they've been talking about for 2 weeks, is that he's a marked man. So Owen Hart is going to come out. He's going to come out number 9. He's going to get attacked on his way to the ring by Jeff Jarrett. And it's funny what they show Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is here at Royal Rumble. We failed to mention that. Mike Tyson is making an appearance at Royal Rumble here. And one of my most memorable WWE moments or WWF moments comes from this Royal Rumble with Mike Tyson. And we'll definitely get to that in a little bit. But Mike Tyson here, when Owen Hart comes out, jumps and he pops wicked huge for Owen. And then when he sees that Jarrett's coming, he's like yelling. So Shane's like mimicking Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon's mimicking what Tyson's doing. He's jumping up all excited and then pointing too. He's like just trying to fit in with Tyson. Like, yeah. Oh man, that was cool. Whoa.
He's on probably like one of the coolest dudes. He's on the side of one of the coolest dudes on the planet, Mike Tyson.
So I still thought that was funny. It was Mike Tyson's like popping for Owen Hart and Shane's just copying him. Like, yeah. I like him too.
Probably felt like telling Mike Tyson, like, dude, it's Johnny Lawrence. Chill.
Sweep the leg. So I just thought that was funny. Shamrock may have gotten a stunner in the back, according to Jerry Lawler. So they're still speculating what's going on in the back. People are getting attacked left and right. So that now leads me to bringing up one of the best things about this Royal Rumble, and it goes back to the 2 guys that started this Royal Rumble off. You got the 3 faces of Foley in this Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Mick Foley's working overtime. So Cactus Jack was eliminated, a little earlier, and then Mankind's going to come out at number 16. And then when Mankind comes in, he goes after Chainsaw Charlie and eliminates Chainsaw Charlie. Chainsaw Charlie was in the match for about 25 minutes. So just cool.
And
Charlie
he's taking some
eliminates
big bumps. Yeah.
Charlie eliminates Cactus, and then Mankind comes back out and eliminates Charlie. So it's just perfect.
Chainsaw Charlie was so good. I just loved Chainsaw Charlie. I loved the chemistry between those 2. I would put up there as some of the best chemistry in WWE history. Anytime those 2 guys were in the ring, on camera at the same time, you were getting A+ segments. Period.
For sure. Definitely. And
I'm glad that they let Chainsaw Charlie, Terry Funk, obviously, get some time in the Rumble because he deserves it. The guy, he's legendary. In my opinion, he's just legendary.
Oh, he is a legend. I don't think most people would argue that either.
No, like you can't. Like if you don't like Terry Funk, you're no friend of mine.
Hard not to love.
Yeah.
All right, so you got Owen Hart. We'd seen he got attacked a little earlier. He's going to run in. He was never eliminated, so he's going to come in and he's going to eliminate Jarrett. And that's something that kind of annoys me with Rumble matches sometimes. So they do that where somebody doesn't make it in, but they can just hang around for a while and then just get back in the match later. No,
I don't like that either. And that's not to get into current events, but that's one of the shits that pissed me off last night. Is like must have like 4 different people go under the ring between the women's and men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
and not only that, they suck at hiding. They keep like popping their head out like, hee, look, I'm still here. It's like, dude, this is why your product blows now.
I just hate that shit. I was watching last night. I was watching the women's match because I fell asleep before the men's match. So I was watching the women's match. Women's Rumble match with my wife, and she was getting annoyed with that kind of shit because somebody that's not a fan with it, they want rules. They want, hey, that doesn't make any sense. So I was like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't make any sense that they can not go in the ring. It was I think it was Billie Kay. Billie Kay was going out there and she was saying, "Oh, I'm not going out until Peyton comes out." And
yeah. Yep.
She's like, that's bullshit. She needs to get in the ring. I was like,
and then Zelina Vega goes under the ring.
Right. She did that.
So stupid.
So my rule would have been, if you don't get in there by the time the next person comes out, you're eliminated.
You're eliminated, yeah. Or you get a 10 count. Like
right.
If there's a regular match. Like, get your ass in the fucking ring.
Right, there's always these referees just circling the ring. What the hell are they doing? Just there to see somebody fall on the ground?
Yeah.
How about start counting to 10 on these suckers trying to cheat the system?
Yeah, that should be a rule, because it's annoying.
And that if they had a rule like that, then that could play into storyline, too.
Yeah, it'd be fresh. It would freshen it up because I don't know.
All right, back to this Royal Rumble match from 21 years ago. Because the new one's pissing me off. And the fact that there's 2 of them on the same damn night now that take up more than half the show, just doesn't make it as special in this too either.
No, I don't know.
After
watching this Royal Rumble match, it doesn't.
It's great for women
after
and all
watching
that.
Last night's is bad. Yeah,
but are they just going to copy everything that the men did for all these years?
That's the thing. Spot for spot, they're mimicking. You got Naomi playing the Kofi role, and it's just.
Why can't they just come up with their own original concepts? I think they have Elimination Chamber too now. I mean, they do.
Yeah, it's a disservice to the women, in my opinion.
Right, to just get the same matches that the men have.
I think they deserve better than that, and they're better performers than that. I think they just deserve better. They still deserve better, in my opinion, because the women, I'm enjoying the women's stuff more than I am the men's stuff on wrestling. Like, props to the women; they're killing it right now.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, that's what they need. They need to have their own original match that the men have never done before.
Yeah.
Oh well. As I said, back to 1998. You have, like I said, we were talking about Mankind, Cactus Jack, all that, and then Owen Hart runs in, gets dumped out because he was. Yeah, that's what got us on that tangent. Is Owen Hart not showing? Well, got attacked, and then he was able to come back later on. So China and Triple H eliminate him from outside. That's another thing that pisses me off in Rumble matches, when people not involved in the match or already eliminated in the match cause the elimination of somebody in the match. It shouldn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah, you could blame Hulk Hogan for that when he got Sid Justice eliminated against Ric Flair in '92.
Yep.
Ever since then, it's
like bullshit. No, he's not out. You can go back in. That's what I would have said. No, you're all set. Sid, you're all set. You go back in. You're good.
Yeah, what a sore loser Hogan was. Like, that's not a face move.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
This is a sore spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. At number 19, you have the fucking Honky Tonk Man. And he's going to last 19 minutes.
Fucking crazy.
Goddamn Honky Tonk Man. You're going to get a bunch of Nation members in this Royal Rumble. And a lot of them are going to last for a while. So you got Mark Henry's the first. Well, I mean, The Rock's already in there, and he's been in for a long time at this point in the match. He's going to be the Iron Man, basically, of this Royal Rumble. In it the longest. And Mark Henry comes out. He's going to last 19 minutes. You have Kama. Kama's going to last 14 minutes. So you get the whole nation in at that point. Skull comes out at number 22, but he was attacked by accident. So that's what Jerry Lawler was talking about earlier, where he was saying, I think Austin was attacked. It was confused as being Skull in the backstage. It was reported that Austin was attacked, but it was actually Skull.
Bald-headed white guy
with a vest.
With vest on.
So that happened there. So that made you believe that Austin was injured earlier, but now with this announcement, oh, shit. You're led to believe that Austin didn't make it out because that 22 spot, it didn't say who was coming out, just nobody showed up. So you're supposed to think, oh shit, that was Austin's spot, but it's actually supposed to be Skull's spot. Now, if it was today, they'd have the big camera, the big picture with your name on it, and then your music playing. So they wouldn't even be able to do that storyline today. Well, that's a thing of the past. It would be funny if they did try to do that today. They would just not play music for that one entrant.
Yeah.
and as if we were dumbasses and would be thinking, hey, you just played music for everybody else. How come you're not playing it this time?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, Austin does eventually come out. People thought maybe he was 22, but he comes out at 24. So the crowd goes nuts for him. Obviously, they've been waiting for him. And that's what's cool about this Rumble match is that they've been building up for Austin the entire night. That's all the crowd really wants is Austin. And they make him wait all the way to the end, to number 24. So builds a huge pop. So all the wrestlers now are going to look towards the entrance. And it's going to be like the last episode on Raw. Austin's going to run in from the crowd. He's going to come in from behind. He's not even going to come from the entrance. So he gets in there. He eliminates Mero. Everybody's after him. Austin's going to dump out 8-Ball. Then he chokes D'Lo. Rather. And he's just going to go after everybody. The Nation is fighting each other. Every man for themselves, So that was pretty cool. You get that heat between the Nation building up, and they're going to go at it with each other. Rock and Austin go through the ropes, and they start fighting outside. Austin gets laid out. And he goes outside the ring after, and he goes to the guardrail. So you have that continuing now. It's been a little while since we have any contact with The Rock and Austin, but it just picks up right away here again in the Rumble match. So they have that going on there. You have Dude Love's going to make his way out. He's number 28. So Mick Foley had come out as all three phases of Foley throughout this Royal Rumble, which is just super cool, innovative idea at the time.
Yeah.
Just worked out perfect. When they were planning this, they're probably just thinking, wow, we got three guys right there and one guy. So, and it's never been done before, and the crowd will love it. So Mick Foley does that, and he's in there for a total of 19 minutes, which is not a long time, but it's a long time when he has to come in and out, and take the beating that he did.
Did you, when I seen that, when I was watching this and this was happening, you know what I was thinking? Obviously they could, it's obviously scripted,
yeah.
But I'm like, like the part of me that still thinks it's real is like, oh, what would happen if one of his characters was still in the ring and it was his number to come out,
Well, it wouldn't be happening.
And I thought about it way too much while watching it, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Chill. That could never happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So stupid.
It's funny. All right, so now we're getting towards the end of the match here. We have Austin eliminate Savio Vega. The saga continues. It's Savio Vega. But that brings us now to a final four. So you got Stone Cold, Dude Love, Farouk, and The Rock. So you have former tag team champion Stone Cold Dude Love up against the Nation, Farouk and The Rock. I was just about to call Farouk Farouk. Farouk. So Austin and Dude, they team up and they go up against Rock and Farouk. Austin eventually is just going to turn on Dude Love and attack Dude Love. Farouk's going to come up and eliminate Dude Love. And then Rock's going to toss Farouk out. And Farouk is pissed, obviously. And that continues to build their tension for their feud that's to come. And then you just have Austin and The Rock. The Rock has been in the match since number 3. And Rock's going to get stunned and then bounced out of the ring, and you get Austin winning, and you get that famous call from JR, and we're going to play that right now.
Oh, no! No! He didn't make it! Stone Cold Stunner! And The Rock is gone! Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold is going to WrestleMania!
There it is. Stone Cold! Stone Cold is going to WrestleMania. So that all-time great line. It's probably like JR's biggest line that he's had. I mean, he's had a whole lot more, but that's the one that really sticks out to me, is that Stone Cold. Stone Cold! So there you are. Stone Cold Steve Austin wins the Rumble again. Back-to-back years. So you have, it finally ends there. You had The Rock came in early in the match. He was in there for 51 minutes. He gets eliminated by Stone Cold there. JR makes a point saying that Stone Cold survived. He was the marked man, but he made it through. Austin again had the most eliminations. He had 7, and he started at number 24. So,
damn.
Yeah, last year he was in the match starting at number 5. The previous year, 1996. No, yeah, 1997. Sorry, 1997. And he eliminated 10. And he started at number 5 spot. So he almost matched his eliminations. And he was in it a lot less than he was the previous year. Austin was in this match for about 16 minutes. And he won it. And then last year, he was in it for 45 minutes to win it. A whole half-hour difference. And we know why. You know, Austin is not in the same shape that he was the previous year. So he can't last as long. But it all worked for the storyline. He was a marked man. They're trying to build up the crowd to be excited for him when he comes out. So that all made sense. And he's going to get his title shot. Hopefully he gets his title shot and not get screwed like he got screwed last year out of it. This time it's pretty clear cut that he won fair and square. And there's not much that they're going to be able to do about it. So this is back-to-back Rumble wins for Stone Cold. The last time that had happened was in 1990 through 91 when Hulk Hogan did it. So the thing that I said was one of the most memorable moments from my childhood in WWF is from this pay-per-view. So 15 years old watching this with my cousins, and they cut to Mike Tyson after the match, and you just hear it for yourself. You've heard it before. Listen to it again.
Oh, what a hell of a Rumble matchup! Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cole is standing by with Iron Mike.
JR, I'm here with Iron Mike Tyson. What did you think of the Royal Rumble match? What do you think of Stone Cold?
Intense, man. Cold Stone is my man. He won. You know, man, I won a fortune. I'm going to celebrate tonight. And no one believes that he could win. I'm just happy, man.
What about the upcoming championship match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels? Your pick.
That's going to be tough because I've been a great fan of The Undertaker for many years. Shawn Michaels, a young up-and-coming hungry tiger, and I'm looking forward to the match, man.
All right, that's Iron Mike Tyson back to ringside.
Thank you.
There it is. Cold Stone is my man. Cold Stone. Cold Stone is my man. So I was looking up, I was reading Austin's book a little bit today, and he mentions that. He mentions the being called Cold Stone. So what he says exactly about it, but he just basically says Mike Tyson had this thing for calling me Cold Stone. And I guess he did it a whole lot more. I thought this was the only time he did it. It was by accident, but Austin mentions that he did it a bunch of times, and maybe it was just backstage. But he would tell Tyson, you know, it's Stone Cold. It's not that hard. It's Stone Cold. Cold Stone's my man.
I love the way Mike Tyson taught. He's one of my favorite. I know he obviously has a checkered past and all that stuff, but just from a guy that put in the work and from a training perspective, guy was a beast.
Yeah.
He was a beast. Like watching the old montages of Mike Tyson when he was younger, training and everything. Like just what a freaking athlete he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that Stone Cold had said about Tyson in this was that he brought up the same thing you just said about his checkered past and all that. And Austin's like, "Oh, I've done dumb things. Everyone does dumb things, and we can get beyond that, eventually." And he's talking about how after this little run with WWF, that kind of changed a lot of the public's perception of Mike Tyson, and he became more of like somebody that's not as scary. He's somebody that you can laugh about and
someone you can relate to.
Right. Because before he was just like a monster. Basically.
Yeah, he didn't have the best childhood and all that. Like I'm not saying that's excuses for some of the dumb shit and obviously the rape allegations and all that stuff, but I'm a fan of Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Probably always will be. He was born for sports entertainment. He was a natural at it. I just imagine if he could have if he could have committed to wrestling. Oh man. Oh man.
All right, so that wraps up Royal Rumble 98. So we got Stone Cold on the road to WrestleMania. I'm sick of that phrase now. The road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know.
Just sucks now because it's like the whole promotion is just road to WrestleMania, road to WrestleMania. I mean, I guess that's what it is, but and that's what Stone Cold is on the path of right now. He's heading to WrestleMania 14, and we'll be covering that very shortly. Next week, we'll be getting into the month of February. We'll be wrapping up January and February next week on episode 20, which is No Way Out, February of 98. And there's going to be some tag team action for Stone Cold next month on next week's episode. So before we get into the final wrap-up here, let's go over the house show rundown. Okay, so on January 4th, day before the first Raw that we talked about on this episode, in San Antonio, Texas, Austin and The Undertaker team up with each other, and they defeat The Rock and D'Lo. On January 5th, on that Raw, on the dark match, it's Austin Taker defeating HBK and Triple H. Then on January 10th, 98, MSG, New York, Austin and Cactus Jack defeat Rock and D'Lo. There's a funny note with this when I was reading about this match. It says Austin and Cactus Jack, Dude Love was unable to perform.
What?
So it's it was supposed to be Austin and Dude Love, but Dude Love was unable to perform, so Cactus Jack took his place.
That's good stuff. That's good.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep, that's so funny. And then on January 11th, 98 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you had the same thing happen again. So it was Austin and Cactus Jack defeating Rock and D'Lo. January 16th, 98, Anaheim, California, same thing. Austin and Cactus Jack defeat Rock and D'Lo. All right. So, any final thoughts, JV, on Rumble and those 2 episodes from January for Raw?
No, not really. I'm just really looking forward at this point to doing the watch along.
I'm looking forward to, definitely looking forward to the watch along that we have coming up. But I'm definitely looking forward to, over the next couple of episodes of Raw, which we'll be covering next week, is the Mike Tyson confrontation with Austin. Austin, Mike Tyson in the ring.
Yep.
So that'll be fun to take a look at and talk about next week.
Hell yeah, we get to talk about Mike Tyson. That's fun.
Hell yeah. 2 episodes in a row, we get a little Tyson action. Even the following week too. So Tyson's going to be around for a few episodes. So pretty exciting shit. All right, so as JV mentioned, we do have a watch-along coming up. That's going to be this Saturday, February 2nd. We got our watch-along for the Royal Rumble. So if you enjoyed what you heard about the Royal Rumble match and you've wanted to watch it again, well, save watching it until this weekend and watch it with us. And then, like I said, just keep watching after that and watch the main event. Really good main event between Undertaker and the Heartbreak Kid. All right, so before we get out of here, I want to give a couple shout-outs to our podcast buddies. First being our podcast brother, Talking Taker. Talking Taker is digging up the career of The Undertaker, just like we do here on the Bottom Line Cast. and they're covering Undertaker's career just month by month, episode by episode, through different pay-per-views that he's gone throughout his long historic career. So at this point on Talking Taker, they're in 2001. They'll be covering SummerSlam 2001 this week coming up on Thursday, tomorrow. And on SummerSlam 2001, it's the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker, against DDP and Chris Kanyon in a steel cage. I don't think I've ever watched that. But
Chris Kanyon.
But I'll definitely, Chris Kanyon. What was he in WCW? He was Mortis, right?
Mortis,
yeah,
yep.
Mortis,
yep.
Yeah. Or
it's like a Mortal Kombat ripoff, right?
Right. Which Mortal Kombat character would he been? Like Reptile?
Reptile.
Yeah, Reptile. And then they had Sub-Zero was Glacier.
Glacier. I loved Glacier.
Did you?
I thought that guy was like the best wrestler ever when he came. I'm like, look at this guy. He's fucking Sub-Zero without the mask. And then like Mortal Kombat 3, Sub-Zero doesn't have the mask. I'm like, it's Glacier.
Yeah, that's funny that they basically ripped off WCW, maybe.
Yeah. No,
rip us off?
WCW ripped off Mortal Kombat, I'm pretty sure.
No, I know, but maybe they got the idea to take off the mask from Glacier. Oh, yeah, let's take the mask off. All right, so that's Talking Taker. Check them out. And also take a look at Booking the Territory podcast, the Unprofessional Wrestling podcast, where they break down episodes of NWA, WCW Saturday night episodes. They're currently covering 1987, and this week they'll be covering October 17th, 1987. Those episodes drop on Thursday nights, and on Sunday nights they drop Smoky Mountain Wrestling episodes breakdowns. And they're currently in 1994 and covering July 9th, 1994, which is episode 128 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You can get all Smoky Mountain Wrestling episodes on YouTube if you wanted to watch those episodes and then take a listen to what they have to say about the crazy shit happening in Smoky Mountain. All right, so you can help us out. Go to our Twitter page, support us, please. Subscribe onto our iTunes or Spotify, whatever you're listening to us on. Please subscribe if you're a first-time listeners and you liked what you heard here today. Subscribe, and then tell all your friends about us on Twitter. And we're at MPRU83. That's me, Mike Prue. And you can find JV on Twitter at John Van Damage, And you can reach out to us on our Twitter page for the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast at Bottom Line Cast. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for all the support. And we'll be back this Saturday, special edition, watch along, Royal Rumble 1998. Be there this Saturday. So long, guys.